Today's episode is sponsored by Astero's Cybersecurity Services. These days, organizations of all sizes are targets for cyber criminals, disgruntled employees, or even nation-state attackers. Astero's performs cybersecurity services providing expert guidance to help organizations defend against threats and protect their data. Astero specializes in penetration testing, where they perform ethical hacking on networks, web apps, or organizations as a whole to simulate what an attacker would do and plug the discovered holes before anyone malicious finds and exploits them. Asteros also specializes in vulnerability management, security awareness training, phishing simulations, cloud security audits, compliance readiness assessments, and much more. As technology expands, it becomes easier and easier to run a business, but if your security is not growing along with your company, then you're going to run into problems. If you don't personally have a company of your own, definitely pass this information along to someone who does, because for a limited time, Asteros is offering companies an attack surface audit completely free. Let Asteros discover potential entry points to your network and how susceptible your company or organization is to cyber attacks. To learn more and to take advantage of this essential offer, just go to asteros.com/free. That's Asteros, ASTEROS.com/free.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the least comfortable show on the web. It's The System Is Down, where we talk about all the uncomfortable topics like conspiracies, politics, religion, and a whole bunch of libertarian shit. And we do so in the most fun and irreverent manner possible, because hey, the world's ending. Why not have a little joy in our lives as we do? We have a very special guest today. We have a very special plan. Remember back in the day, I used to do like pastor grilling. We did that 2 or 3 times where I had a pastor on just to get information about them and like pick their brain and really dig deeper than most people, would in these in normal everyday conversations where people are civil and nice to each other. But kill the music. That's enough of that. So I've got a bunch of candidates coming up in getting ready for Reno with all this libertarian drama and everything. And I figured, why not have a couple different candidates on and give you guys a little bit of an introduction to them and some of the stuff that they've got going on and why you should vote for them or shouldn't vote for them. But we'll get into that in just a moment. Before we do, I got to remind you guys about my favorite sponsor of all the sponsors, which is you guys in the Downers Club. People like Matthew Wallace, Anthony Portillo, Crystal, Lee Ann, Autumn, Ryan, Tom, Patrick, Gid Kid, Magoo, David Algood. I'm sure these are all your Christian birth names. I could be wrong, but Carolina B, or as we call her, Polish Karen, Aaron Stute, Nathan Sipes, Mary Rome, and a whole bunch of others. If you want to get your name on that list and possibly have it read incorrectly, go on over to patreon.com/thesystemIsDown and sign up for the Downers Club for as little as $5 a month. That is the cost of one super chat per month, because YouTube has never let me do a super chat. They demonetized me way back before it was even cool. If you want to join this nice little weirdo community that we have here that is kind of secretly liberty based, but we're not a liberty podcast because there's too many of those. If you want to join this group, join this cult, whatever you want to call it, patreon.com/thesystemIsDown. Sign up for as little as $5 a month, or for even just $1 a month. That's like less than a $1 item on the dollar menu at McDonald's. Yes, because their dollar menu is much more expensive than $1 these days. But for even only $1, you can get the after parties live. You can watch those and get all that fun stuff. But if you want the replays, you want the ad-free versions, you want all the bonus stuff, the backlog and everything, $5 at patreon.com/thesystemIsDown. More weird, more raw, more offensive, more weekly content. All right. As was mentioned, there's some controversy around some things that may or may not be happening in Reno, and we're going to talk about a few of them, and we're going to talk about somebody who is currently trying to, harm himself. I don't know. Check out BetterHelp.com. They're not a sponsor, but if you find yourself running for political office in the Libertarian Party, that would be my recommendation. But we're going to call this up, and we're going to call it Candidate Grilling, and it's a brand new segment. We'll see how many times we do it here leading up to Reno, but let's kick it off right now. All right, we are joined today by the one and only Erik. Is it Raudsep? How do you pronounce that?
It's close enough for me. No worries. And I'm glad to be the first one on the grill.
Yes, yeah. It wasn't even really a plan. I decided to go ahead and do it this morning because, there's all these people who are just interviewing candidates, and that's boring at some point. And somebody's going to see, Erik Raudsep did another interview. Great. He probably answered the same questions again. But So we're going to dig a little deeper and have a little bit more fun with it, and all in love and good fun. But yeah, who knows? It'll go where it goes. But tell me a little bit about yourself. I know the stereotypical opener question is, how did you discover liberty? Well, what are your just give me the brief rundown of your resume and why you're cool.
So I worked for the Republican Party for many years up in the state of New York and nationally. Worked for quite a few candidates, including presidential, U.S. Senate candidates.
Mhm.
And I realized after the 2000 presidential election that the Republican Party left me. I didn't leave the Republican Party. They left me, and I found liberty. I was always liberty minded, always liberty hearted, and found the Libertarian Party. Took a couple of years to start really putting my toes in the water. And as of when I moved out of North Carolina, 2007, I started getting involved, and it's been a roller coaster ride ever since. So it's home now. It's my political home, and I wouldn't go anywhere else.
Sure. Now, I know a lot of people that listen to the show are libertarian nerds that dig into the LNC stuff, but most of them, a lot of them, I would say, don't have any clue what some of the stuff that we're even talking about even means. So you are currently an LP activist in North Carolina, right?
Correct.
And you are an at-large member of the LNC. Could you please explain to the normie viewers what the hell an at-large means? Does that mean you're like on the run from the LNC, or what does that mean?
The last 2 years, it's definitely felt that way.
Really?
But no. So an at-large member on the LNC basically means that I represent everyone in the country that's a libertarian. So every libertarian, you have a regional rep and a regional alternate. If you don't want to go to them, you can go to an at-large member and have them represent you on the board as well. There are 2 states that are outside of region representatives, and they can go to the vice chair or to an at-large member. I respond to a lot of emails because they are, especially this term, there are a lot of people who feel that their region rep doesn't represent them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I'm talking with members all over the country, responding to them late at night, and trying to do the best job I can for representing libertarians around the country.
Absolutely. Now, the biggest elephant in the room is, of course, and you reached out to me like asking to come on, and I was like, absolutely, come on. I gave you the heads up. It's no secret that I'm a bros with Josh Smith, and there's been some contention in the Mises Caucus endorsement between you and him. The Mises Caucus did officially give you their endorsement, and then they kind of gave it to both of you guys. Can you kind of give a little bit of explanation from your perspective what went down there? Because there's a lot of people that just don't like you. I would assume there's a lot of people that just don't like you because you're not Josh Smith at this point. So you want to kind of address that?
So I'm on Angela's team. Angela has said that she wants me on the LNC with her. We are good complements to each other. We've been working very well since the 2001 Florida convention. If you remember, that's the same weekend that New Hampshire broke, and the 2 of us were all over that, along with Caroline Harlos, who was also down in Florida, Stephen Nikela, a whole bunch of us. Michael Heiss was there as well, and we grabbed it by the horns and just tried to wrestle it, try to figure out what was going on, and go from there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Angela and I had developed a really good working relationship ever since then, and it's just continued to develop. And I'm looking forward to serving on the LNC with her. As far as the Mises Caucus, I am a Mises Caucus member, but Josh is too.
Yeah.
So the Mises Caucus feels very strong that we would both be good on the board, and so they've decided basically that either one of us would be fine, and that's why they're not going to put an endorsement out, as long as it's not Hauptman, I guess.
Gotcha. Who was that last name? I don't know anybody outside of you and Josh as far as who's running in this race. Is it just you guys and one other guy?
That's correct. There's 3 major candidates. There's Josh Smith, there's Joe Hauptman, and there's myself.
Gotcha. And so what's been kind of your You said that you worked with Angela on some of the LPNH stuff, so you've seen, this corruption happening there in Massachusetts and Delaware and that type of thing. Are you like Angela has spoken on the LP's involvement, what their situation or what their role should be in a situation like that? Do you agree with her that it sometimes does require the LP to get involved?
Absolutely. I mean, I am a big supporter of autonomy when it comes down to the states, but
Hmm.
when the states are just trampling over their members, the members need still representation, and if it's against their own state organization, that's a huge problem.
Hmm.
So, who's going to represent these individuals? I don't want it to be the LNC, but if that's the only vehicle left for them to be properly represented within the party,
Hmm.
that's what needs to happen. And that's what is happening. So it's an interesting 2 year term. I don't think anyone who's on the LNC or has been on the LNC ever thought that this was what we were going to be dealing with for our entire term.
Yeah.
But it's what's going on, and it's what we have to deal with.
Yeah. So, can you speak to those three situations in particular? Because they're obviously the most
Right.
massive problems that have the most massive like things that have been happening in the LNC or the debacles and debates and everything amongst factions. But can you speak to each one of those briefly? Like, do you agree with say like Delaware, them being cooed and taken over by Will McVeigh, from my perspective, and do you agree with their situation or with their whatever decision to get involved in that as it happened?
So yeah, I mean, McVeigh got rid of the entire party,
Yeah,
did away with every member in the entire state,
it's pretty cut and
and then
dry, I would
declared
say.
himself a new, reinstituted his own membership and a handful of other individuals after they removed themselves as members as well. Uh, it would that such a laughable situation. It should
Yeah.
have never happened. And I'm glad to see that it's on the twilight of being worked out and restored back to where it should be.
Hmm.
Massachusetts, I'm the one who called for the initial meeting of the LNC to have a discussion to figure out what was going on, what needed to be done, how to handle that situation. So yeah, again, I mean, I've worked very closely with Brody up in Massachusetts, and yeah, it's definitely something that needs to be addressed by the LNC because these members' rights are being violated.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a. What do you think is causing this rift? Like, first off, people are trying to say everything is the Mises Caucus's fault. They're doing this hostile takeover, and you're kind of like in all the camps, right? You're kind of the
Yeah,
Spike Cohen perspective of we should all work together, and I'll join all your caucuses until you're like assholes. But
yeah,
now I did mean to ask you right off the bat. The Mises Caucus has been called this. Evil, homophobic, anti-LGBTQ, transphobic, what have you, caucus. And that is the reason that's the reason why everybody's leaving the Libertarian Party right now. What's as a man who has his own proclivities, what's your take
yeah.
on that?
Well, I have great support among Mises individuals. I'm gay myself. I have a husband. And so the idea that the Mises Caucus is
Sorry, I'm gonna have
anti-gay
to
or
cut you off right there and wrap this up because we are afraid of you folks, and we can't be having none of them gays on this show. No, I'm just kidding.
there you
Go ahead.
go. No, but it's absolutely laughable. I mean, I found that the Mises Caucus will work with anyone who wants to work with them.
Yeah.
And I respect that. That's what it boils down to. I mean, if you look at the 10 points on the your platform, it doesn't have anything that's anti-LGBTQ.
Right.
It's, or GSM, as, a lot of people in the Libertarian Party like to say. So, no, I don't find that the Mises Caucus is anti me in any way.
Hmm.
Sure, Are there members? Absolutely. But they exist in every single caucus.
Right.
There are just individuals who don't approve of the lifestyle, and that's their personal choice. Congratulations, we're libertarians. You get 6 libertarians in a room, you'll come out with 12 different opinions.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is.
Yeah, it's funny. And I gotta say, frankly, you might be gay, but I don't know if you're as gay as Josh Smith. I'll be completely honest with you there. But so with have you personally received any pushback from any individuals? Because we can say like the Mises Caucus is not anti-gay, and really any honest person can figure that out pretty quickly for themselves. But there are people saying, "Oh, the Mises Caucus always attacks me because of my sexuality or my orientation or what have you." Obviously, I would imagine not any leadership have done that to you, but have you gotten any of that, even like from the regular normie folks hanging out in the Mises Caucus?
You know what? I have been attacked for being gay.
Sure.
I didn't go to find out what caucus they're part of.
Sure.
I have a couple of individuals who send me pictures of breasts all the time, and basically they're like, "See, this is why you should be straight." Are they part of Mises Caucus? I don't know. I've never taken the time, nor do I have any interest in knowing where they're coming from within the party, or if they're
Right.
even inside the party. Acknowledging these types of people are just going to give them more power, and
Yeah.
I just ignore it and laugh.
Yeah. Have they swayed you at all? Have they persuaded you with their boob pictures to? No.
No,
Okay. Well,
no, I'm still decidedly gay.
yeah. It's all good, man.
I'm an
It's all
ass
good.
man. What can I say?
Women have asses too, I hear. But so with now, I think it is important. I think the vice chair position is something that a lot of people overlook because it's it's whatever. You're not like top dog or anything like that. But I think it's just as important, if not more important, than the chair position because potentially we're talking about you're running for chair. If anything happens to Angela, or if anything happens to whoever gets it, it's Angela. If anything happens to Angela, you're the chair at that point. So what do you see your role as the vice chair currently, or if there's shifts of power in that moving forward?
So that's one of the things that Angela and I have actually been working on a lot, and I actually have also submitted a bylaws change to actually clarify what the vice chair is, because right now it's a very loose determination on what is the vice chair and what are their responsibilities. And I want to bring it more in line with what a Fortune 500 company, successful organizations around the country have done. And that's basically listing their vice chair position as a chief operations officer.
Mm-hmm.
And making it into a defined role will actually give the vice chair more of a direction on where to go and how to act. Just basically, what do you do as a vice chair candidate, or once you achieve that?
Yeah.
And that's another great thing. Angela fully supports that and sees her role more as a CEO, forward-facing, defining the direction of the party, how everything is going to function, flow. And then the vice chair's position is much more of an internal facing entity focused on operations and everything on the inside of the party. So basically, it's a support mechanism. It really is. We're growing so quickly as a party that we need to have these defined roles. We need to divide the responsibilities. I mean, the chair is asked to do so many things that it's almost too much for one person to handle now.
Right.
Granted, we have a great staff. There's people picking up helping the chair to get everything accomplished. We have an executive director. We've got everything. I mean, it's great, but still putting everything back to the chair as the final word is a lot. So I'm looking very much forward to having that pass in Reno to further define what the roles of all the officers are.
Yeah. Right on. So, assuming or not assuming, but hypothetically assuming that you might someday be chair, what do you see the chair's position as? What is Angela's role, or what is potentially your role if anything happened to her?
Well, much like a CEO, it would be defining the direction of the party, defining the culture, being the outward-facing face of the party. Those are the really important aspects of the chair. And if we start getting, or when we start getting more media attention, that's going to take up a bulk of the time, along with the running the mission statement of the party. So that's going to be enough for one human being to undertake alone already.
Yeah. Now, with it being, I agree with you 100% on all that, but more of a practical application, like what do you see as the role now in today's cultural climate? Like, why now do you think that it's important enough for you to take on this mantle, or Angela to take on this mantle in this position with the stuff that we're going through? Like, what do you think are some of the biggest letdowns or biggest blunders that the LP has had over the last few years that you think you could do better?
Well, first of all, we've asked our chair to do too much. We're burning out our individuals, and by having Angela's plan, the strategic plan, having my operational strategic plan, Todd's coming out with a strategic financial plan. These are all the aspects to set up the next LNC for success, to basically tell every member of the LNC or of the Libertarian Party what we're going to be accomplishing. What are our high points? What are we going to get done for you as a member of the Libertarian Party? Mm-hmm. All of this is exceptionally important.
Yeah, right on. So let's go back a bit. I've heard rumblings and rumors, and I've heard rumblings and rumors about everybody. Obviously, I heard a whole bunch of them about Josh before I became friends with him and realized that the rumblings and rumors are a bunch of bullshit. So I take everything with a grain of salt for you and for anybody until, you know, we have a chance to actually get to know each other. But so with you, like I said at the beginning, like, it seems like a lot of people's beef is just with this. I don't think most Mises Caucus people would have any issue with you if it wasn't for this kind of mix-up of, Josh and you doing it at the same time. But some people have alluded to or said that you have, been anti-Mises Caucus in the past, or you've been less Mises Caucus friendly, or you're more like into the woke shit or whatever. You want to address some of those?
So first of all, Josh and I are friends too. I mean, when we were in the Florida convention just a couple of weeks ago, I bought him a drink. We stood on the beach. We had a great conversation. The two of us are friends. There's no animosity towards him at all.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist. But for people saying that I'm anti-Mises Caucus, that's just not true. I mean, the Mises Caucus maybe not right in a situation, or I don't agree with what the Mises Caucus is saying at that moment, and I'll go with what I feel is the right choice.
Yeah.
Now, in the last 2 years, I'm siding with the Mises Caucus 80% of the time, if not more. So,
as a self-hating gay guy, right?
As a self-hating gay guy, exactly. The Mises Caucus has its pulse on the future of the party right now. Mm-hmm. Like I said, 80% plus, I agree with everything that is coming out of the Mises Caucus. Mm-hmm. So to say that I'm anti-Mises is just categorically untrue.
Gotcha. So what have been some of your criticisms of the Mises Caucus in the past? I want to get down to the nitty gritty here, because it's great that you side with everybody a little bit, but everybody either loves or hates the Mises Caucus, and you're kind of right there playing nice. Which props. It's really difficult these days to do that as the division gets farther and farther.
Trust me, because I've pissed everyone off now.
Sure.
So
we all have.
Tells me that I'm actually doing what I set out to do, because
it seems like the more just honest and human you are about these situations, and the less tribalistic you are, the more evil you become very quickly for some reason. But what are some criticisms you have of your pseudo camp kind of, with the Mises Caucus?
Well, I think one of the things that upset a lot of people was that I wish JBH happy birthday. Or the fact that I
And this was
supported
after all
Valerie.
that went down, right?
Oh, yeah, right.
Okay, sure.
Or I supported Valerie to be on the advertising review board. So I mean, there's lots of things that I've disagreed with what the Mises Caucus was saying, or what some of the Mises Caucus members wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, I mean, when it comes down to policy, there's nothing that I disagree with on the Mises Caucus. It's just certain individual
How about
small
date
votes.
rape? How about 12 shots and date rape? Do you disagree with that? Because I hear Joe Jorgensen said, I'm pretty sure she heard somewhere that someone said that that's Dave Smith's one principle that she disagrees with him on. So what is your stance on date rape?
I mean, I have a pocket full of Rufalin right now, so I mean,
Nice. Sounds like you fit in around here.
No, I mean, come on. I mean, really. I mean, there's nobody that is going to be drugging individuals or to have. Well, I'll take it back. There are individuals that drug individuals so they can actually get laid.
There
But
are.
I mean, it's not there's no official position by anyone that this is what is acceptable behavior. I mean,
Right.
come on, this is absolutely ludicrous, and it's just not happening. I mean, sure, there's some pathetic individuals that need Rufalin or whatever to wet the willy, but it come on,
Yep.
it's not in a position. It's not anything. It's absolutely a joke. And there's no other way to take it other than that. And the fact that there are people who actually think that this is serious and an actual position of the Mises Caucus doesn't understand what the Mises Caucus is about.
Yeah. Agreed. Now, I kind of derailed your thought there, but wishing JBH a happy birthday, how very dare you, first off. Second off, can you please explain this very controversial position that you have taken in modern day society to wish somebody a happy birthday?
I know. I don't understand where that all came from and why that exploded. I mean, I don't agree with what he did as chair and the entire working behind the scenes with New Hampshire and all of that. If the allegations of him doing all of that, that's absolutely wrong and 100% incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
He still does great work in the tax arena. He's still fighting for liberty. I'm just glad that he's no longer the chair if that's what he did. So, it's absolutely, he's still a fighter for liberty. He's fighting the IRS every single day. He actually is going in front of federal court judges and dismantling aspects of the IRS. Bravo for him. I mean, taxation is theft after all. And happy tax day, by the way.
Right.
I mean, it's just it's absolutely, it is what it is. Yeah, sure. If you're friends with me on Facebook, you will get a happy birthday message, and it's just what happens. Yeah.
Would George Soros also get a happy birthday from you if he was friends with you on Facebook?
You know what? I don't even look at names when I wish everyone happy birthday. So I would probably say George Soros is not a friend of mine on Facebook. But if he was and somehow snuck into my DMs,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, sure, I'd probably wish him a happy birthday. I'll be honest, I really don't look at names. It's really just happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday.
Right. Gotcha. Well, what are we at? Half hour? Okay. Well, I'm going to try something new here. We're going to play an ad in the middle of this because I'm all legit and professional or something now. But we'll be right back after this quick word from our sponsors, ladies and gentlemen.
Today's show is sponsored by libertarian conspiratorial fantasy author Jack Casey. Whether you're looking for a 3-book fantasy sci-fi epic of love, death, and dystopian civil war like the Royal Green series, or just looking for a quick, dark, comedic cultural commentary tale about a transsexual slayer of COVID regime vampires, like his latest book, WVW, Jack Casey Books will keep you adequately entertained and pondering the universe to your weird little heart's content. He's the Ayn Rand meets Stephanie Meyer meets somebody who actually writes entertaining books with his own unique little downer-esque flair. Find out more about Jack Casey Books at the aptly named jackcaseybooks.com. Once again, that is jackcaseybooks.com.
All right. So, with JBH, you wishing him a happy birthday and all that, and you said you supported somebody with the last name Sarwark, I'm pretty sure. What happened there? What was that really important thing?
Valerie was running for a vacant position on the APROC, which is an organization inside the party that approves or denies predominantly print media, but they do have after the fact approval on online or social media posts. Mm-hmm. So she was running for the position. There were two other individuals that were running for the position. The two other individuals that were running for it, I didn't feel that they had the time to do the position because it's something that needs to be done on a very short timeline. Mm-hmm. And I felt that she would actually be pretty good at it because she's shown that when she's doing committee work, she can be neutral, like her work on the affiliate committee.
Yeah.
So with her qualifications, her time availability, and the fact that she does have a track record of being able to be neutral, at least when she's doing committee work, I thought, yeah, sure. Plus Stephen Nickela's already on there. A couple of other individuals who are Mises Caucus are already on there. So it would bring balance. And that's the direction I voted in. And I understand, there's a lot of people that get really hurt or wary of anyone with the last name Sarwark.
Yeah.
And I understand that. I totally do. But out of the individuals running, I felt that she would fill the spot the best. So again, I'm not I'm not 100% in the pocket of Mises Caucus. I do what I feel is right and agree or disagree, and that's where it's at.
Gotcha. Angela McCardle in the comment section, perhaps you've heard of her, says, we're going to wish JBH happy birthday from the national account with a screenshot of his worst takes. I support that. I support that. Yeah. Yeah, in the whole thing, like, it's pretty much what I've heard. The people who don't want you, other than he's not Josh Smith, it's just basically Sarwarks and JBHs and stuff like that. It's like, guys, you are going with the guilty by association bullshit, just the same as anybody else, and you can't scream about it and also do the same thing. And again, I don't know in depth all that much about those two situations, so it's kind of whatever to me. But just because you have been friendly with somebody in the past, like, come on, guys, we have enemies in the party, I think, yes, and they should be worked their way out in some ways, but they're not as many as you might think. And just because somebody has done something stupid doesn't mean you can't wish them a fucking happy birthday. But to each their own.
Hey, and the old saying, even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Right, so, even a broken clock has a birthday once a year. So I think that's the saying, something like that. Yeah. So what, as the vice chair or even potentially chair or whatever, or just moving forward, what is your plan to kind of bridge some of these divisions and get, former prags and radicals and audacious folks to, not hate the Mises Caucus so much? I don't want to make it too simple to that point of not hating the Mises Caucus, but it's pretty much that at this point. It seems like the Mises Caucus are like, yeah, we'll work with whoever, and we'll even support Erik, even though he's not strictly Mises Caucus. But everybody's flailing about this takeover, and they're terrified of it and whatnot. So really, I feel like the main hurdle is, how are you going to make people not hate the Mises Caucus that are already have that proclivity of hating the Mises Caucus?
Well, first of all, it's listening to their point of view, their complaints. And if they're in the right on something, you know what? I will be an advocate for their position as well. Mm-hmm. And I have shown that 100 times over. I don't care where you're coming from, or I don't participate in caucus wars. Yeah. Giving a caucus war the acknowledgement and the power that some people give is making the entire situation worse. So kind of diffusing it and just moving forward and conducting business as a libertarian party needs to conduct is one of the best ways that we're going to diffuse this. It's just business as usual. Let's move forward. We're all fighting for liberty. We're all fighting to end the omnipotent state and transvestite vampires.
Obviously.
Yeah, actually, I actually want to read that book now, by the way, because that just totally
It's a good one.
piqued my interest.
It's a good one. I've got it right here on my desk.
There you go. But no, I mean that's what is going to end this war. Is just showing by working on the board with Angela, with everybody that's there. You know, if whoever is on the Mises slate that gets voted in, whoever gets voted in that's not on the Mises slate, having a functional board, conducting business, getting the business of the party done, is going to be the best way to actually move past all of this.
So that's all good and well, but a lot of people are, just the takeover. They're terrified of the takeover. First off, what is your opinion of the takeover? Are you hoping for a Mises Caucus clean sweep, or are you too neutral to get behind that?
Well, I'm on the Mises ticket, so
Right.
I mean, obviously, I mean, this is a great team. I've had a chance to talk with everyone on the team. Not everyone on the ticket supports me. That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, even like Region 2 rep Dave Brenner, great guy. I look forward to working with him. He's an amazing individual. Great ideas. He even, I've been talking about putting together single issue groups. He's talking about single issue groups. We have the same ideas. He's a Josh Smith supporter. But, hey, I don't care. You vote for who you vote for. And I look forward to working with him. Yes, I would love to see a Mises slate sweep. It's absolutely phenomenal. I've been working with these individuals, talking with them as I travel around the country. They're great people. They're all concerned with liberty. And the people that are talking about takeover and all of this, you look in 2021 in Pennsylvania, Mises Caucus showed up with a whole bunch of people. They got denied the right to vote because they were members for less than 180 days. And then everyone's surprised and shocked when they're still members the next year out. And so now they can't turn them away at the door because they're legitimate members and they're over 180 days or whatever. And it's not like anyone had no warning. It's not like this came out of nowhere. It's a rapidly growing caucus in the Libertarian Party. It's nothing scary. And the idea of takeover is ludicrous in my mind. You just have a group of individuals who have shared ideas.
By
They're still
takeover, you mean
libertarian.
doing better.
Yeah, I know.
That's really all it is.
Shocker.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's just the idea of this entire quote unquote takeover movement is if you actually take the time and talk with individuals who are in the Mises Caucus, there's no takeover. It's a red herring.
I saw a guy made a video, though. I saw that they put out a video. I don't know who made it. Some asshole probably made a video for the Mises Caucus called The Takeover. So seems like there's a takeover.
Okay, so you guys have embraced their scare tactics.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great marketing just to do so. So yeah, no, I mean, absolutely, you should be using that language. You should be using that. It's marketing 101. If someone's trying to put a negative piece out about you, you turn it into you use their language, turn it into a positive, and spin the heck out of it.
Right.
I mean, this is nothing surprising. This is actually great tactics by the Mises Caucus. I mean, it's
Agreed. Now, point of clarification, if I may. Break the cycle. Joshua Smith says he's not on the Mises ticket.
So, okay, neither Josh nor I have been endorsed by the Mises Caucus. That is absolutely correct.
Okay.
But
So,
if you
yeah.
talk to Angela, I am her pick as vice chair. So the
So you're both
unofficial Mises
unofficially, like, I mean,
yeah.
I understand what he's saying, and I understand your point. It's, I think it is kind of splitting hairs. You were both like got kind of a nod from the Mises Caucus, and you're both Mises Caucus.
Yeah.
Whatever. Frankly, I would not be. I would be open to either one of you, and it would be head and shoulders above what we've seen in the past. So, there's
I
that.
totally agree.
But so, what do you see as kind of the most important things as somebody who is going to be in some way like if you win working with Angela, you guys are working on messaging, you're working on getting stuff out there. What are some of the most important things? Obviously, COVID's a big one, and the LP has failed miserably on their messaging and that over the last, feels like decade, but 2 years. How would you handle that type of thing differently if something else comes down the pike, or if lockdowns ramp back up? What's your stance on that type of thing?
So I mean the whole party, we need much better messaging, and a large part of it was because there was no agreement or consensus that could be achieved by the current LNC. They all wanted to run in different directions, and instead of running in different directions, then everyone sat down and put their thumb in various orifices, and that's basically what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Don't kink
that can't
shame.
happen.
Don't kink shame, Eric. They can put their fingers wherever they want.
But no, I mean that's exactly what happened. Angela and I have already been talking, and one of the things that I'm very strong about is creating up a bottom-up organization that includes communications. That's going to be encouraging the states to create pieces that can be floated up to national, and national run with state pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And we see that our states are much quicker and much more relevant on a lot of different messaging. They have great resources. They're not spending untold thousands of dollars on 30-second pieces that actually portray the message clearer and better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that we should be definitely utilizing as a tool. And then on top of that, creating high-level messaging at the national level that can appeal to normies out there, as you so adequately put them.
Yeah.
People outside of the libertarian spectrum, and get them starting to think about liberty. We need both. We need bold, hard-hitting pieces. We never want to lose anything that is going to be talking about our platform or our principles. We need to make sure that we always hold true to those, but we definitely need pieces that are going to be easier to swallow for the people who have been indoctrinated by the state. But we also need hard-hitting pieces for the people that are willing to stand up against the government today. So, we definitely need a multi-pronged media system, and that needs to incorporate what the states are producing, and we need it now. I mean, we have so many issues. We're in rapid fire moments right now. I mean, so it's almost dangerous just to wait until after Reno, but unfortunately, that's the position we're in.
Yeah. Now, Josh is in the comments. Josh, calm down. I love you, Josh, but he does. I was thinking about making this into a debate, but I didn't really want to go that route just yet because I really want to get to know you, and I'll do the same with Josh. But Josh says, imagine choosing a guy who didn't associate with the caucus until he needed the support over the guy who took the caucus on his back like a target to almost 50 states over 5 years. You can address that however you like. This is your day and your interview.
So in New Orleans, I attended the Mises Caucus event from day one. I walked between hotel to hotel almost every single day of the convention.
Mhm.
So it's I didn't become a paid member until 3 years ago. Granted, okay, in New Orleans, I was whipping for Josh. I
Yeah.
was, one of those individuals. So okay, whatever. I get it. Yes, he embraced the Mises Caucus a lot harder than I did in its early days,
He gripped
and
that
I will never
caucus.
fault him for that. Pardon?
He gripped that caucus and rode it hard, rode it
Yeah,
all the way.
exactly. Yeah, just gave
This
it a
goes
good
back to
hard squeeze.
my
Yep.
Josh might be gayer than Eric thing. Sorry to both of you, but uh, no,
But I mean,
go
sure.
ahead.
Absolutely. I mean, he's been 100% inside the Mises Caucus the entire time. Uh, and yeah, I was again, I was seeing where the best ideas came from even back then. I was a
Yeah.
member or active in several caucuses. So yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. If you want someone who's Mises through and through, solid to the core, has been with the Mises Caucus from day zero. Yeah, no, Josh is definitely that's your guy. But if you want someone who is a hard worker, you works with the Mises Caucus on a regular basis, is yeah, that's me. I mean, so it's a matter of opinion. It's what do you see the position of the party, the direction of the party you want to go in.
Mhm.
Josh is a great guy. He's a personal friend of mine. I really appreciate him. He's been
He's saying the
great
same
to
about you
serve
in
on.
the comments now too. Truly,
Yep.
Eric is awesome, great guy, love him
There-
personally. I'm the clear MC guy though. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
So I mean, but I don't think you need to be MC to the core up and down the entire
Sure.
slate either. I mean, uh, so that's
I would
that's where
say people having the trouble of deciding between you and Josh is a great problem to have that we haven't had in the past from what I've witnessed. It's usually like
yeah,
some people that we've never heard of are going up against other awful people that we might have heard of once.
mhm.
It's like if Spike Cohen and Dave Smith both run for president, I might like favor one over the other, but that doesn't mean I would be absolutely stoked to get either one of them, any more attention for the party or anything like that. So good
And that's a
problems.
wonderful place to be in. I think
Absolutely.
there is no hard line yes, there's no hard line no, and I think this is probably one of the best races we can see.
Yeah.
So it's actually wonderful that this is all about the issues where we see our where the party is growing, and both of us see that the Mises Caucus is definitely going to be a large seat at the table.
Absolutely. So with if and when, let's say when Angela gets in there, she has talked about Michael Malice taking over the Twitter. Are you in support of that insane idea as well?
We will see. I mean, I like his
Not
work.
very promising. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I like his work. I'm not familiar with everything that he wants to see the position do, and I definitely need to talk to him more about that. But I don't have any surface disagreements with that idea.
Right on. Okay, so what do you think? Like the biggest hurdle coming down the pike for the Libertarian Party is as a whole? Because we've got people who focus on we got to run more people for local offices, be them small or big or whatever. That's obviously a focus, and there's messaging, and there's different areas that people think are the biggest concern, and they will fight to the death over one or the other being the biggest concern, rather than accepting that they're both important. But what do you personally lean towards? Do you think that the Libertarian Party has a chance of, I don't know, putting up a candidate that gets elected for president, or do you think it's a little more
Not
realistic
yet.
than that?
Not yet.
Okay.
That's still many years off to see a libertarian sitting in the White House. It's an important race to run. It gets our name out there, but honestly, we're not going to see a libertarian sitting in the White House for many years.
Mm-hmm.
What we do see is local races being a focus. And one of the best ways to get more individuals to run is to increase our membership. Membership is absolutely the key that we need to be focusing on in the Libertarian Party right now. And a large part of that is going to be developing single issue groups to get people into the Libertarian Party, because for a lot of individuals, especially if they're coming from one of the old parties, the word libertarian is a scary word. So we need these single issue groups that are adjacent to our party, but not in our party, that are going to really soften the entry into the party as a member.
Mm-hmm.
And that is absolutely key, absolutely vital to create on-ramps into the Libertarian Party and customize people and make them travel their own road into the Libertarian Party.
Mm-hmm. So, you say libertarianism is a scary word to most people, and I tend to agree with you. Mostly, I think, just out of the lack of understanding of anything at all that we believe. Because if you're not left, you're right. If you're not right, you're left in today's culture. You get Republicans; they'll call us woke ass, liberal, whatever. And then you've got the left that'll call us, like, I don't know, terrorists and Nazis and that type of thing. So with the culture war, what kind of role do you think the LP plays in that culture war, as kind of a pariah on both sides? What is your plan to kind of change the I guess the mainstream perspective of libertarians? Are you going to dig deeper into the wokeism, or are you going to dig deeper into the terrorism? You decide.
I would say neither. But I mean, this is actually a perfect example of why our messaging has sucked for years. You know, you want to talk about messaging being bad during COVID. Our messaging has been so bad for a long time that we've let Republicans and Democrats define what libertarians are.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been standing here just kind of with a shit-eating grin on our faces going, hey, join us.
Right.
And we haven't even taken control of the conversation when it's about us.
Yeah.
So that's a huge, huge issue. And one of the things that we really need to work on our messaging is making sure that we're controlling our own narrative, which we've absolutely sucked at for decades now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got people in the comments saying that we should change the name of the Libertarian Party. That'll be, personally, I think that's not the easiest way to go about it, because an entire rebrand would take a little bit more time and effort. But
and if you change your name of your party, sometimes you're going to lose ballot access in some
Right.
states because you can't change your name. So that's going to be a little bit too far, a bridge too far, unfortunately,
Yeah.
because we don't have the millions of dollars to actually get that done.
Mm-hmm. So do you have somebody that you want to see run for president, or somebody that you would push for? Are you on the Dave Smith train, or is there somebody else that you think would be better for that position?
You know, I first saw Dave speak in person in Pennsylvania in 2021. Yeah, 2021. I saw him speak in person. I had been aware of him. I've listened to some of his podcasts, but hearing him actually in person, I think he's a powerhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to be my presidential choice? I don't know. I want to see who's running. And as part of the LNC, you know, it's the members' choice. It's not mine. And whoever the delegates put up is who I will support. But
it's a very political answer of you. Who
I
would
know.
you want to see? Not who would you want to see the delegates want to see. Who do you want to see?
You know, I'm still holding out hope that Spike Cohen's going to run.
Sure.
But if Spike runs, I'm totally in the Spike camp. You know, I think he can really do some great things for the party if he takes on the presidential platform. But we'll see.
Gotcha. So look into the camera and tell all the Mises people, Spike, not Dave, right now, and we'll see how that goes.
I'm not that bold. I'm not that bold.
Right on, man. Well, yeah, we're pushing an hour. I think we'll do some bonus after party if you're down, and talk about some more fun and spicy things if you're good.
Absolutely.
Right on. Well, Eric, it's been an absolute blast having you, and I have appreciate your lightheartedness and appreciate taking my bullshit. And go ahead and give any final thoughts on your. Actually, let's do this before we give final thoughts. Tell me one good thing about each of the two guys that are running against you, and then tell me one bad thing about yourself.
So Josh is phenomenal on the LNC because he is able to kick anyone in the pants, especially when they need it, and sometimes when they don't.
Yeah.
But no, Josh is great to work with. He's always Liberty centric, and I've always benefited from working with him.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Houtman is a longtime party member, and I respect the many years that he has had in the party. Obviously, I think that I'm still the best choice.
Sure.
But no, both individuals who are running are definitely strong. The vice chair race is a very strong race this year, and it is a privilege to be part of it.
Right on. Now, what's one downside to yourself? What's like if this is a job interview and you were asked, which it is in a way, and you are being asked, what is one of your weaknesses, I suppose, as a leader that you can acknowledge?
One of my weaknesses as a leader is going to be that I am truly a representative, and I want to get as many individual points of view before I act. And I guess it's just the operations aspect of me. I would rather act a day late but have the right answer instead of making a from the hip decision. So especially in the political world, sometimes we live and die by news cycles. So that would probably be my downfall, is that I want to have as much and the best information that I can have before I act.
Yeah. It's like Michael Scott in The Office. What are some of your weaknesses? My weaknesses are I'm too patient, and sometimes I'm too loving, and I see what you're saying. And I think a lot of the issue with the Libertarian Party is failure to act in a prompt manner, and I think a lot of that has to do with committee, and a lot of that has to do with democracy within the Libertarian Party. So as somebody like you see that as kind of a weakness, or also kind of a strength in some way as well. How will you change that to make sure, even though yes, we want to wait till we get all the facts and make sure we make the right decision, but we need to make some of these decisions quicker? So how do you work with that?
Well, that's actually one of the great things about the team that Angela has put together, is that it is a balance. There are people that are willing to grab the bull by the horns and run with it, and go with that gut feeling and make the choices that need to be made. And then there's also planners and people that are going to sit back and evaluate the situation. And so the team that she's really put together is exactly that. It's a phenomenal balance that really sees to a lot of people's strengths, and a lot of people's weaknesses are filled in by other individual strengths. So that's one of the reasons that Angela's team is really set up for success.
Mm-hmm. Right on. Well, Eric, again, it's been an absolute blast having you on and actually getting to know you as a person instead of just a politician slash, guy who's running against my friend. So it's been good, and we'll keep the party going. But go ahead and give final thoughts, final plugs, final anything you want to say here before we jump over into the bonus.
Well, you can follow me on Facebook, on Twitter, or on Patreon at /Erik Raudsep, just as you see underneath here. It's the way we make the wheels work, is if the message can get out. So I encourage you to follow, and share everything that comes out of my pages. I'm not a prolific social media person, as you will notice if you follow and like, but
It
that
was
is
pretty hard to find good pictures of you. That's why I had to make up my own for this.
yeah. There are not a lot of great pictures. I'll be honest. I'm usually behind the camera, not in front of it,
Yeah.
for good reason. But that is by design, I think. But no, definitely, I look forward to having your support in Reno. I look forward to growing this party with the Mises Caucus, making sure that we are fighting to end the omnipotent state once and for all in our lifetimes. And I look forward to your support and your assistance in getting that goal done. The only way that we're going to get this done is together as a party, all of the members together. And we need to end these caucus wars now.
Yeah, but then my show would it would really
Oh,
suffer if I
come
didn't have
on.
all this shit to talk about.
Oh, you'd have so much shit if all of a sudden the Libertarian Party was firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, I would certainly take that drama over the drama of infighting for sure. But
oh yeah, then you could be lambasting Democrats and Republicans all day long, and
I have no problem with that. Yes.
Yeah, they write it for you, for crying out loud.
That's right. Well, Eric, thanks again, and hang on the line, and we'll be with you in just a moment for the after party. But thanks for being here, and to all of you, thanks for being here in this fun little candidate grilling, and we'll keep this going. Probably have a few more, because as politicians go and as politics go, don't just go out and vote the R or the D or the L or the LMC or the whatever. Like, just I am for the Mises Caucus and all that fun stuff, and also I think that even if the Mises Caucus put somebody up, you should be digging into what these people think and just disregarding the rumors. Find out from the source and from, people that know. So that's the point of this. Having a nice, real, honest, and human chat with some of these candidates because they're all politicians, so you can't trust a goddamn one of them. But thank you for being here. Please go support the show and come on over to the after party at patreon.com/The System Is Down. We'll see you all over there in just a moment. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday with the news at 2 p.m. Corn time here on The System Is Down. Until then, please question everything, stay uncomfortable. Thanks for hanging out. We'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.
Dun, 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 dun.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe on your way out and help us change the world one uncomfortable conversation at a time. And if you like what you hear and you want to hear more, go join the Downers Club at patreon.com/The System Is Down for bonus episodes of the show every single week. Until next time, please continue to question everything, stay uncomfortable, and I'll talk to you then. Thanks.
This has been a Goulash Media production. goulashmedia.net.
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.